Behold, he cometh with clouds, and every eye shall see him, and they also which pierced him, and all kindreds of the earth shall wail because of him.
As birds flying, so will the Lord of hosts defend Jerusalem. Defending also, he will deliver it, and passing over, he will preserve it.
For as the lightning cometh out of the east, and shineth even unto the west, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be.
For behold, the Lord will come with fire, and with his chariots like a whirlwind, to render his anger with fury, and his rebuke with flames of fire. For by fire and by his sword will the Lord plead with all flesh, and the slain of the Lord shall be many.
Second Peter chapter 2 and verse 1. But there were false prophets also among the people, even as there shall be false teachers among you, who privily shall bring in damnable heresies, even denying the Lord that brought them, and bring upon themselves swift destruction. And many shall follow their pernicious ways, by reason of whom the way of truth shall be evil spoken of. And through covetousness shall they with feigned words make merchandise of you, whose judgment now of a long time lingereth not, and their damnation slumbereth not. Shalom, brothers and sisters. This is your brother Hawayala. I want to give all glory and praises to our Heavenly Father Yahweh. And we do so in the name of our Lord and Savior Yahawashi. Grace and mercy will be abound to the hopeful elect scattered throughout the four corners of the earth that are waiting on the second coming of our Lord and Savior Yahawashi HaMashiach. Tonight we're going into a brief lesson concerning the rise of false prophets. The reason why I'm doing this is because with the time that we're in now, especially with modern technology, where you have a lot of people that can get on various social media platforms and they can basically, push any doctrine that they see fit. It's important for us to be aware that there's going to be people that are going to continue to come in, gain a following in the audience, and promote things that are contrary to sound doctrine. And this is actually going to be something that we're going to have to overcome as teachers, to overcome some of the false doctrines that they'll bring, because we're in a time now where what is right and what is wrong is relative. People are doing things after their own heart, so they're going to seek out teachers having itching ears that's going to tell them what they want to hear, but not what they need to hear. And this is the reason why you're going to continue to see increasing confusion in the Israelite community, where people are promoting things that are not making sense. And you're going to have to be aware that when you are, talking to different people, that they may have seen some of these things. Meaning, if you're talking to someone who is a non-believer and they weren't in the Israelite community, they may have came across people in the Israelite community that were promoting things that were actually contrary to the doctrine, and that it turned them off to the point where they started speaking evil of what we're doing. And this has already been happening for some time. There's certain things that has been promoted by certain groups, such as, GMS, where they've promoted things that is obvious that is wrong, but because they're such a big group, they have a large following, and these particular moments and videos go viral, they're able to grab from the people that are against the gospel, are able to grab from that to make us that are sincerely pushing this thing, make it harder for us to bring that message across. And the likes of those is people like Vocab Malone. There's not been yet one video that Vocab Malone has pulled up on us that he can use to make the truth of being evil spoken of. He's actually been to Houston. He would actually skipped over us when he went to go talk to Sakari, and when he went to go talk to GMS here in Houston. We're on the same block on Main Street. We're just on different parts of Main Street in downtown Houston. And we're not giving him any soundbite that he can use that he'll be able to make the way of truth be evil spoken of. And remember, the way of truth is Yahawashi. He is the way, the truth, and the life. So remember that when you read verse 2, it says, by reason of whom the way of truth shall be evil spoken of. They're talking about Yahawashi and the gospel. Okay? when they go out there and they do these things, they are lying on Yahawashi and the gospel, and they're hurting the message. But that's ultimately not going to work in the long run, because the elect is still going to be sealed as it was written. So we do have to be mindful that we have to be aware of what's being taught out here. That's why I tell brothers that are among us, you need to be having constant conversations with brothers. You need to have your eye looking out for what's going on. You have to be a watchman. Okay, and we're not talking about Naquam and them. We're talking about a watchman, okay, of Yahawashi HaMashiach and his flock. You got to know what's being taught out there. You got to know what's being said out there, so that way you're better equipped to combat those things. Because just recently, yesterday, the new group known as Genesis Israelites, headed by the man, he calls himself a deacon, Deacon Hakah, which I've heard he might have changed his title, and then also Hassad, who used to be part of Sakari. They were recently, of course, tripling down on their Babylonian lunar Sabbath doctrine. Okay, and last night in the Telegram chat, we went over some of the ways to combat that. Okay, because when these groups and guys have a big following, these people that are listening to them, they don't do their own research. They don't know how to study. They don't know what's right or wrong. These people are coming out of a world where a lot of things that is going on that's wrong is considered right, and what's right is considered wrong. So when they come in to try and learn, they are going to take hold of anybody because they like a particular person, and it's a cult of personality. So because they like the way this guy dressed, or the way he talks, or the way he gets down, they're like, yo, that's the one I'm going to follow. I'm going to follow that doctrine, and the guy could be telling them to do things that are contrary. Okay, and that's the reason why, over here, we don't play no games, man. Like, if somebody's coming among us with false doctrine, it has to be destroyed. Okay, we're not going to sit around and try and find a room for somebody with false doctrine. That's why we had to get some guys about the way. No matter how cool we were with them at the time, if they started going left, then they got left out. And that's why a lot of them are bugging out. Some of them don't teach no more. Some of them are following after their woman. Some of them are sitting there spitting the same old stuff. They ain't got no prophecies. They're not warning the flock of what's to come. They dumb dogs. They don't bark. They don't warn you about nothing. But here it is. The world is collapsing around. You see the tensions increasing. You see inflation is going up over here. You see the relationship between men and women is basically breaking up more and more. You see the children are out here fending for themselves, being programmed by social media to basically be New World Order automatons. And they ain't saying nothing about it. So you got people out here that are trying to make a quick buck off of the pain and suffering that we've been through as a people. That's the reason why when you read in verse 3, it says, and through covetousness shall they with feigned words make merchandise of you. You got now this guy who they call the Guerrilla Hebrew. This guy's over here promoting Hebrew herbal supplements. Now, it's okay to have a business and set it separately, but you are intertwining that business with your congregation. These guys over here, they live a particular lifestyle that requires them to always up the ante on any type of scheme that they can figure out to make more money off of their congregation. And that's all it is. Because when these guys are running low on money, they'll find out another way to extract some more from the congregation. Flying around the country, buying, designer sneakers, hats, clothing, going to the club, drinking liquor, buying all kind of jewelry. You have to upkeep that image and that lifestyle. So when these people, when that money starts running low and they can't keep up that image, they're going to try to find a way to get it about the people. That's just what they're going to do. Man, a lot of people are trying to find a way to scam their way into the hearts and the minds of those that are seeking after the truth. Okay, and it's going to continue to happen. Okay, so let's go ahead and go into Matthew chapter 7 and verse 15. Beware of false prophets, which come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they are ravening wolves. Ravening means that they're rapacious, they're takers. Okay, that means they're predatory. See, a sheep is not a predatory animal. A wolf is a predatory animal. These ravening wolves are looking to take from the flock. You see, you have people out here, they're so slow. They think that that a man rebuking a woman or another man for wickedness, oh man, that's a brother, he got bad fruit because he done harshly rebuked a brother for being evil to another brother. You must have not read the scriptures. This is what we're supposed to do. You have people that was justifying false reports and lies and slander upon a brother or brothers. Okay, because it even increased into just not one person, but they slandered many. You've had people that promoted adultery among us. And when it was called out, when they were confronted about it, they thought they were being done dirty. This is the type of people that we're amongst, because they're only looking out for their own selfish interests, which is either to justify their ego because they're envious of another brother and his gifting, or they're coveting another brother's wife. So now they're trying to undermine whatever situation that person has, or because they're friends with a sister and she was put away by her husband for adultery. Now you're trying to figure out a way that you can make her find love again, disregarding the scripture found in Matthew 19 about if a woman committed adultery and be put away and another marry her, he committed adultery. You cannot marry a woman that was put away for adultery. These people knew this stuff and they still were promoting it. Because why? They had their own selfish desires, whether to keep somebody as a friend, to keep a wife happy, to allow her to have this adulterous friend around when she's also an adulterer. Then you got people out here that are trying to find a way to take money from sincere brothers and sisters in the walk. Even in those other groups, we've had situations where we had to confront a guy in Atlanta from GMS Atlanta about what he was doing to the brothers that were underneath him. He was stealing from them. These guys came to his defense against us just for the sake of being down with GMS, only for them months later to then start to speak the truth about what happened and how that guy was taking their watch, money, rims. Yes, this is a true story. Okay? Now they are able to tell the truth because now they're able to see that they're victims and they couldn't hold up the facade anymore. So we're with people that are willing to do this stuff to people that they call brothers. What would they do to you? If they're willing to do this stuff to people they call brothers in the faith, and they're from these other groups or they split away, what would they do to you if you're around them in the time of Jacob's trouble? That's why we have to separate ourselves from those that are wicked and evil. That's why you read in verse 16, ye shall know them by their fruits. Do men gather grapes of thorns or figs of thistles? Even so, every good tree bringeth forth good fruit, but a corrupt tree bringeth forth evil fruit. And evil fruit is when you're supporting another man in his lie and you know he's lying. An evil fruit is when you go out there and you purposely lie by omission. You lie and tell a brother, hey brother, it's okay for you to go and marry that sister, and you knew that the sister was put away for adultery. That is evil fruit. A good tree cannot bring forth evil fruit, neither can a corrupt tree bring forth good fruit. Every tree that bringeth forth not good fruit is hewn down and cast into the fire. Wherefore by their fruits ye shall know them. You got a man out here that'll sit there, come up against you while their wife is at home preparing for birthdays. Yet you gonna celebrate, get your daughters involved in it, get your children involved in it. And you're sitting there not looking at that as evil fruit from your own household that you're allowing to grow and fester. What's going to happen when the fruit, that evil fruit of that tree becomes full? It's going to be cut down and cast into the fire, you and everything with it. So we have to be understanding of what we're in these last days. People are going to allow a lot of stuff to slide, and they're going to slide right into a pool of fire. But those that stand up for something, that stand up for what's right, they're the ones that's going to abide forever. And their fruit shall remain. Their good fruit shall remain. So we're really in a time where this stuff is going to continue to increase. Now, we go to Matthew chapter 24 and verse 10. And then shall many be offended, and shall betray one another, and hate one another. Yeah, because you had people that was offended at the word of Yahawashi, even among us. That was offended at the red letter and the epistles and the law and the prophets, when it said, thou shalt not do this. Follow not a multitude to do evil. Be ye not a partaker of another man's sins. You guys was doing that stuff. You became offended when it was exposed and called out because you thought you could hide your intentions. And then your hatred for sincere brothers was shown. Why? Because in verse 11, and many false prophets shall arise and shall deceive many. Guys sitting up having secret councils, deceiving younger, unsuspected, ignorant brothers that didn't know what was going on, and trying to heap to themselves disciples unto themselves while they were orchestrating the madness. Yeah, we talking about you, puppet master. You're a false prophet. You and your household is going down. Doing deceptive, deceitful practices. Guys handling the word of the Lord deceitfully. Telling brothers that men and women love the same in a marriage. You're being deceitful because you yourself are in a marriage where your woman is the one who controls things. And you don't have a way to set that straight. So you're going to hold on to your Jezebel and go down with her. But while you're doing that, you're going to go and deceive those that are around you. Verse 12, and because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. We are in a time where people are promoting so much craziness that as more wickedness is being promoted, people have less love for one another. In fact, when you show love to certain people, they are colder towards you because it's not natural to them. That's the reason why we have to really do some austerity measures, and the austerity measures are already found in the scriptures. We're not doing anything new. We're just locking down and being more tight and austere with certain things. See, people are going to make their own choices of how they're going to do things, and they're going to have to stick with them choices. You a sister, you want to marry this particular brother? Okay, cool. Don't try. You ain't going to find your way out of it. We've had a situation where two people were dealing deceitfully, got together. The sister tried to leave. The guy didn't let us know that the sister was dealing with another man. There was already in a conundrum off of the lies, off of deception, trying to deceive the congregation, the elders that they spoke to, and also at the same time deceiving themselves. What do you think the end of their situation is going to be? we're getting to the point where, like the scripture said, if any man be ignorant, let him be ignorant. There's going to be a time when brothers is not even going to stop giving counsel to those that don't even hear. We're just going to sit back and let that person go their own way, and they're going to make the decision for themselves of how they're going to perish in the way. We're going to allow people to walk right into the lake of fire, the path of destruction, because it takes too much energy to try and pull you up out of that way. I saw a guy, he's not a believer, but he made a statement about how, and this is true, about those who are destined to be destroyed. It doesn't matter what you do, they're going in that direction. You could try everything you want. If that is their path, they're going there. If the righteous person's path is to get saved, there's nothing that the devil, Satan, anybody on the planet can do to prevent that person from being the elect. That person is going to be the elect. There's some people, they are hastening to be destroyed. And sometimes you got to warn them once, yea, maybe twice. And after that, reject them. Like Paul stated, after the second admonition, reject, knowing he perverteth and sinneth. You got to reject that person and let them go their own way. We had a guy, he was among us. Nobody mistreated this brother. Brothers was treating him like he was little Benjamin or something. Nobody did nothing to this brother. He bug out because one guy who was wicked that he was close to was kicked out, and he go out and start just talking madness like a crash dummy, being manipulated by another envious guy. And he go run to another dude who removed himself because he couldn't get with a woman that he rejected prior, based off of his belief system of not believing in baptism. And then when he figures that she got baptized, now he want to get back and try and find a way to get with her. These guys, we already see how you operating. You're not concerned about the truth. See, we see this. And if it sounds like we're at a time of really being serious, there's a reason for that. It's no more games. It's no time for play. We in crunch time. Okay? This is Isaiah chapter 9 and verse 16. For the leaders of this people cause them to err, and they that are led of them are destroyed. We have people in this community that are very visible and they're viewed as leaders, but see, the Most High set them up. He gave y'all a name in Babylon so that way you can be viewed in front of the nation before you are destroyed, before the congregation. You got some of the biggest leaders in the Israelite community denying the name of the Lord, perverting doctrine, taking deals, a lot of weird, strange activity being on certain publications that are a lot bigger than what they're supposed to be on, but they're on it. For what agenda? Time will tell and reveal. Okay? Not only that, outside of the Israelite community, you got the so-called black puppet leaders, the boule. Okay? They call themselves the talented 10th, the divine 9. These people are leading the people into slaughter, making them give a covenant with death, and with hell they are in agreement. They are promoting things that's destroying your families, your children, your communities, your thinking. And people are sitting back here talking about who should be voted for. These people are orchestrating your eternal damnation. All because they either have a strong desire and a hunger for power over people and fame and money. That's why they're doing it. And they have no problem destroying you as they get to where they want to get to. And you have people that are co-signing their own destruction. You are laying hold on the destruction that's going to befall you. This is happening, and it's so obvious. They're making the leaders of our people rappers and entertainers. They go call up the likes of Megan Thee Stallion. I saw earlier today here in Houston, they had a rally for Kamala. They brought out Kelly Rowland and Beyonce. They had Megan Thee Stallion twerking at the other one. They are clowning you to your face, and you sitting here worried about whether or not we're going to vote for a so-called black woman who we don't even know is so-called black. And then if you ask them what is black, these people don't even know what black is because they didn't even create the definition of black. It was given to you by your oppressor. These people are still playing identity politic games only for it to backfire on them every 4 years, that your people get worse and worse and worse. But we're supposed to follow these people lead. No, y'all follow those people lead to your own destruction. Because if the blind lead the blind, both shall fall into the ditch. Go to Titus chapter 1 verse 10. For there are many unruly and vain talkers and deceivers, especially they of the circumcision. There are many unruly and vain talkers and deceivers. We are in an era of the podcast era. Everybody's getting on their computer, getting on their phone, getting on the microphone, and just spewing whatever vain on thing that they can think of. People are being more motivated to say whatever is going to get the traction for the money. They will go and they will promote something. I seen a guy, Yada Awakening. This guy was promoting all kind of Babylonian matriarchal madness, Jezebel witch coven talk. It was ridiculous. This guy became a millionaire off of lying to women who are increasing his bag on a daily. All for him to promote stuff that is contrary to actually building a nation, to survival. But he's doing it for the bag though. And guess what? Y'all gonna support it, because when he pull up in Atlanta to a club in a G-Wagon, in a Rolls Royce, or a Bentley or Lambo, and he come out with his European overpriced brand clothing, and he come out with his overpriced watches from Switzerland, y'all gonna show him love and respect. Because that's what y'all like. See, I don't even feel bad for our people. I've stopped feeling bad for our people to a large degree. Because what I realize is that when you present something good to them, they run to something bad. They will sit there and lie to themselves for the sake of feeling good, only to cry about it when it don't work out. Especially days of the circumcision. Those that know that they are Jews, Hebrews, Israelites, they found a niche market in this thing. Verse 11, whose mouths must be stopped, who subvert whole houses, teaching things which they ought not, for filthy lucre's sake. They do it for the money, the dollar bills, y'all. Cash rules everything around them. That's all they care about. They looking at that bank statement, how much deposit was put in for the madness that they were spewing. See, you got people out there that have a somewhat level of integrity. What do I mean by that? You got people out there, they may have a YouTube, some kind of a podcast, but they know they're not going to go out there their way to go promote something that's against their people, that's going to destroy and lie just for the sake of money. Because when you know, see, let me tell you something, the power of knowledge. The power of knowledge is that you can use it for good or for evil. See, there's some of us out here that know how to get that bag with evil. We are very much aware of the tricks of the trade. And we decide not to, because it's not in us to do that. It's in some of these other people to do this to their own. Okay? We go to Isaiah chapter 3 and verse 12. As for my people, children are their oppressors, and women rule over them. O my people, they which lead thee cause thee to err and destroy the way of thy paths. You got people out here literally making decisions based off of their children. You're going to allow your son to put on a dress because you don't want him to cry. But the Bible said that he shouldn't wear that which pertaineth unto a woman. So you got a lot of you single mothers that are out here. Y'all are the biggest compromisers because y'all don't have a moral compass without a man. Yeah, I said it. Y'all don't have a moral compass without a man, because the law and the understanding was given to man to guide you, to build a nation, to direct the family. So now that you're on your own, you're going to do everything based off of your emotions. And now if you got a son and he want to be a girl, you're going to be down with it because you don't want him to be unhappy. You don't want to see him cry. You don't want to see him pout. See, y'all the main ones that will promote that. And that causes confusion amongst us. It causes confusion among the people because men go out there, they go to a store, they go to a place, and they may see something, a woman, something they think is a woman and it's not. Because the mother couldn't stand on business and allowed their son to take testosterone blockers at, right before they hit puberty, and let them get hormonal treatment and all that. So now they're 18 years old out there looking like Holly Berry. You don't even know that's a whole boy. Woman ruling over them. You got guys out here, you got men out here literally making decisions based off of what they women think. Sounds like that's what Adam did. That's one of the first things that you should learn as a man before you even think about getting married. Remember what the Most High told Adam. He punished him and said, because thou hearkenest unto that woman. That's what he told him. Because you listened to her, I'm going to punish you. You're you make the executive decision. You're the head honcho. You're the commander in chief. You're the captain of the ship. You're the man of the house. Why are you letting your woman rule over you? This is what's happening among our people. That's the reason why it's better to be alone than to be with a woman who is going to be at odds with you inside your own house. It ain't even worth it, bro. Let her make her own decision. She gonna run to the B system when she needs help, and she gonna get destroyed. It ain't up to you to save her. She don't want to be saved. You got dudes out here playing Captain Saver, putting on the cape, jumping into the telephone booth, and coming out like Superman, ready to save a woman from her own stuff that she created for herself. Man, let me tell you something. Most of these women, even if you save them out of a burning house, they won't even have respect for you. They will still go back to the same person who put that house on fire to begin with, because that's what they really like. And you got dudes out here trying to figure out a way to save some of these broads. These people will lead you to another direction. You have many men out there, and you see it all the time, especially in the, the entertainment sphere, where you're able to watch people's lives unfold, where they get with certain woman and the woman destroy them, the woman take them down. These guys will be great athletes doing well, and then before you know it, they come up with 3, 4, 5 baby mamas. They got drama left and right. They can't train, they can't focus, and then before you know it, they're out of the league. You got certain things that has happened like that with a lot of athletes, man. So it's just something that is common among men to see these type of things happen. Go to 1 John chapter 4 and verse 1. Beloved, believe not every spirit, but try the spirits whether they are of God, because many false prophets are gone out into the world. Hereby know ye the spirit of Yahweh. Every spirit that confesseth that Yahawashi Hamashiach is come in the flesh is of Yahweh, and every spirit that confesseth not that Yahawashi Hamashiach is come in the flesh is not of Yahweh. And this is that spirit of Antichrist, whereof ye have heard that it should come, and even now already is in the world. That's one of the reasons why you see some of these groups, they'll deny the name. They'll say we don't know the name. They'll say it'll be revealed in another time. So they're not even confessing the name. Neither is their congregation. These same groups are the ones that will tell you that the mark of the beast system is not a monetary system. They'll tell you it's Christianity. They'll say it's all this stuff. These are some of the same guys. You even hear some that will say they don't even really know if the name is Yahawashi. We had a debate about baptism, and that's what one of the leaders of these other groups said. That's why you gotta try every spirit. You gotta ask them certain questions. There's a litmus test of questions that you can ask to figure out what kind of doctrine somebody's on, what they really believe in, what they really stand on. Okay? There's actually a big trend going on social media. It's very popular right now, and it's a trend of these born again women. They're saying that they believe in the Lord and this, that, and the other, and then they're starting up their social media, and some of them are going through rebranding where they used to be promoting a certain lifestyle, living it up, and then when they get to around 30, they switching up, and then they're becoming Christians. And then people sit there and believe them like, oh, they're a good woman. No, they just believe in Christianity. They don't believe in Yahawashi Hamashiach. They still celebrating birthdays. They celebrating Christmas, Thanksgiving. That don't mean that they believe in Yahawashi Hamashiach. In fact, earlier today, I was made a comment on a social media page, and they were talking about dating and single mothers, and they were saying how Joseph took on Mary, and Mary was a single mother, and he wasn't the father of who the world knows as Jesus. And I hit her with the scripture to show her that he was indeed the son of Joseph. And when you see something like that, you already know what time they on, because they don't believe, they ain't able to confess him. They don't believe he came in the flesh. They believe that he came through some immaculate conception. That is the spirit of the Antichrist. That is what is heavily promoted. That goes back to Babylonian mystery schools. Okay, it goes back to Semiramis and Tammuz. That's why much of the world is actually very okay, even those that are not Christian, with celebrating Christmas, because that was a religion that unified all people back in ancient Babylon under Nimrod. All peoples of the earth were united under that particular religion before the Most High scattered the nations at the Tower of Babel. So they had a unified religion that was based off of that. That's why it's so appealing. And that's why a lot of these religions have various variations of that same Semiramis and Tammuz story, the Immaculate Conception. Okay? The mother goddess and her child. In the Catholic Church, they were promoting what was known as the Black Madonna. This is even before the Renaissance period. You can see the statues of the Black Madonna all and her child all throughout Europe. This, which we know, even though it's idolatry, it proves that the middle-aged Christians and Catholics knew that Mary was a so-called black woman, and who the world knows as Jesus, who we call Yahawashi, was a so-called black man. They make him very dark in many of these images. Okay. But that particular promotion, which removes the imagery of a father, as if he didn't come in the same flesh as man. Remember, it said he took on himself the seed of Abraham and the flesh of man and dwelt among us. So he came in the flesh just like everybody else on the earth. He came through a man seed who impregnated a woman, and he was brought out in the time of birth. Okay, this is a great deception, and many of these people that believe in that stuff, as far as the Immaculate Conception, man, they are going to easily be deceived by the things that are coming, because they're already deceived now. Imagine when stuff really goes down to the level of deception they'll be under. This is Proverbs chapter 29 and verse 18. Wherefore where there is no vision, the people perish, but he that keepeth the law, he is happy. So where there is no vision, the people perish. You got the way our people think in this day and age is America is going to be around forever. I've literally heard people say 50, 100 years from now, X, Y, and Z may or may be better. I even heard somebody talk about the reparations talk, Tariq Nasheed and another woman on one of his shows a couple of years back, saying that they're going to continue pushing this reparation issue, and it may take, another 50 to 100 years for us to get there. And he was like, yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. Meaning they don't even, their vision is not even clear as to the end game. Just continue saying the same thing that you're not going to get. Where is the state of our people going to be if you don't understand what's going on now? What's going to be the next generation? The next generation doesn't have anything set up for itself to survive. The only thing that's left for the next generation is to cling on to a new world order and to own nothing and be happy. But us, we want to keep the law, because happy is he that keepeth the law. But they want you to own nothing and be happy. The words of Charles Schwab from the World Economic Forum. Because that's the vision he's pushing. What's your vision for the future of you and yours? Because the day gonna come when all this gonna come to an end. What happens after the end is the question. This is Jeremiah chapter 14 and verse 13. Then said I, Lord Yahweh, behold, the prophets say unto them, ye shall not see sword, neither shall ye have famine, but I will give you assured peace in this place. Then Yahweh said unto me, the prophets prophesy lies in my name. I sent them not, neither have I commanded them, neither spake unto them. They prophesy unto you a false vision and divination, and a thing of naught, and the deceit of their heart. So they had a false vision saying no sword or famine will befall you. This happens more than you think, especially in places where it's very, very poor, third world countries. You have pastures in these countries where they lie to our people that no sword or famine will befall them, that peace and prosperity is going to come to them. This comes from the prosperity gospel, where nothing bad will happen to you, no evil will befall you via violence, no hunger will befall you, and peace will reign. And they lie to these people. This is what these false prophets do. They lie to them about abundance, about prosperity, about peace. They lie to them to make them feel good, not warning them and telling them what's to come. We'll go to verse 15. Therefore, thus said the Lord Yahweh, concerning the prophets that prophesy in my name, I sent them not. Yet they say, sword and famine shall not be in this land. By sword and famine shall those prophets be consumed. And that's happened many times for our people, especially the fall of the northern kingdom, the fall of the southern kingdom. Later on, the siege of Jerusalem in 70 AD, it happened again. Each time they were warned that it was going to happen. But there was other people that said it was not going to happen. They were lying to them, giving them a false vision until it happened and they were consumed. This is Jeremiah chapter 23 and verse 9. Mine heart within me is broken because of the prophets. All my bones shake. I am like a drunken man, and like a man whom wine hath overcome, because of Yahweh and because of the words of his holiness. For the land is full of adulterers, for because of swearing the land mourneth. The pleasant places of the wilderness are dried up, and their course is evil, and their force is not right. For both prophet and priest are profane, yea, in my house have I found their wickedness, saith Yahweh. So the Most High saw the vision. He showed, known that the priests and the prophets of that time in his house were working wickedness. They were not right. Only a handful of the men, such as Jeremiah, were in their right frame of mind. Look at what's going on with our people. When you go in verse 10, the land is full of adulterers. Adultery is so common, it's ridiculous. I've been making posts recently on Threads because it's a very short way to write out information, put some stuff out there. And I made a statement about how adultery is just so commonplace at this point. I mean, it's so common. It's like, I think it's like, it's almost like becoming a natural way of pursuing quote unquote love. Okay, as some people call it. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's very common. It's very common. I mean, adultery is so common, it's not even considered, it's considered like part of culture at this point. This is the reason why a lot of men don't want to get married. Because a lot of men that are getting married to women, they're actually becoming victims of adultery. Because these women are marrying these men for the sake of fulfilling something on their bucket list to say that they've done it. But at the end of the day, they don't really want to be with these men. They want to be with another man, or they want to be with a woman. We've literally, that's the reason why a lot of you sisters that come in among us, like, y'all are, a lot of y'all be capping in y'all situation. Y'all want to pursue a particular brother. You want to get married, but you still talking to somebody else. We know these situations. Some of us have been a victim of these type of situations. Where a sister talking to you about getting married, meanwhile she got a whole situation she got set up in another city or in the city near you. Then when she pop up with the dude, she stopped calling you, she with the other dude, you like, man, what happened? Like the infamous words of one of these podcasters, her new nigga is not her new nigga, You just never knew, nigga. See, we gotta talk real raw in these last days. Because some of y'all don't understand any other language unless we bundle it up and deliver to you like that. Oh, well, this woman, she was talking to me, and, she was, still talking to somebody else. And it just so happened that I found out later that she was talking to this guy and she left me. You wouldn't understand that. Some of you guys wouldn't understand that. So I got to give it to you in the language and the package and use which you understand that you can receive. Like a UPS delivery. What can Brown do for you? This is the time that we're in. And these same women will look at you crazy when you call them out on this adultery that they're doing. They literally are like, why are you getting on me about what I'm doing? Stay out of my business. Well, I should be allowed to leave this. I should be allowed to leave him because I'm not happy. I want to be with Marquise. Oh, sis, well, Marquise, he's not a believer. He's a dog. He's a flow. He's a freak. He got a different girl every day of the week. But you don't want to listen. You want Marquise. He eating pork chops, smoking. You like that. You want a thug. You don't want a godly man. We see it. We ain't capping. We see it. We know. We heard about who your baby daddy is. We didn't have a situation where a sister had a kid with a man before she got with us. Her dude is snorting lines of cocaine on live streams, telling a woman to shake her butt on a live stream, got multiple kids with multiple women in 2 different countries, not 1, 2 different countries, and she still went and got a baby with this guy. And then she looking for a brother to come and play stepdaddy. I'm like, your baby young. You need to go back to that wicked man you had the baby with, because at least he's willing to give you some money to help take care of the kid. Because what does it look like? I go tell a brother to go marry this sister, and she go up to the city where her baby daddy's at, and he's smashing her too. I know the psychology of these women that are in that state of mind. They will justify sleeping with their child's father while they're courting you or while they're married to you. Don't say I didn't warn you. These situations get real sticky, icky. Ooh, wee. The pleasant places of the wilderness are dried up, and their course is evil, and their force is not right. For both prophet and priest are profane. Yea, in my house have I found wickedness, saith Yahweh. Wherefore their way shall be unto them as slippery ways in the darkness. They shall be driven on and fall therein. For I will bring evil upon them, even the year of their visitation, saith Yahweh. The Most High is not going to spare these people. He's going to make the path that they go slippery. They're going to walk in darkness. It's going to be slippery. And they're going to slide and fall right into that pit. See, when people are on a slippery path and if you're on something that's slippery, and you try and change direction, it's hard for you to change direction because you're already on that slippery path. So even when you try and gain traction to make a direction, to change direction, you can't because you're already slipping and sliding. It's hard for you to get back in the other direction because it's already slippery there. That's why they warn you about how you drive when the weather conditions change. When the road conditions change, you can't move the same way. You don't got the same handling, the same grip when you're on that slippery road. Then it's dark outside too? Oh yeah, it's bad. Verse 13, and have seen the folly in the prophets of Samaria. They prophesied in Baal and caused my people Israel to err. That happened under Ahab and Jezebel. We had an Ahab and Jezebel couple here, promoting birthdays, other hella days talking about living in your truth, which is Jezebel witch coven talk. It's about living your truth. There's only one truth. He was just living, he got to live in his truth. I'm just glad he lived in his truth. I'm just living my truth. You got to live your truth, sis. Your truth is a lie. You got Baal promoters. Well, I called them guys the prophets of Baal, man. Prophets of Baal promote lies, promote idolatry. They get upset when you call it out. That's Baal. Okay? Verse 14. I have seen also the prophets of Jerusalem in horrible thing. They commit adultery and walk in lies. Ooh, look at it right there. Perfect. They strengthen also the hands of evildoers. Listen. We had these guys. We had this clown out there. Call him Hellboy. You gonna go get with a woman that was with another man, and then you tell us you want to marry her. My dude, that's adultery. You also walked in lies because you did not reveal that stuff beforehand. You also tried to orchestrate different situations with other sisters, keeping it a secret, undermining. You lied in counsels to other brothers about a woman that you knew was put away for adultery. You're going to tell a brother that he should go ahead and pursue this woman. You were walking in lies. In addition to that, we had other guys that raised up a false report, bared false witness, walked in lies. And guess what happened when that occurred? They strengthened also the hands of the evildoers. You had men that rose up and strengthened the hands of those men. They say, oh, Hawiyala, and they're wrong. Those brothers are wrong. We're here for you, brother. You're strengthening an evildoer's hands in his wickedness. You should have rebuked him. That none doth return from his wickedness. How are you going to sit there and support a man in the wickedness that he's promoting and done, and not implore him to return from his wickedness and repent? These are the people that Jeremiah prophesied about. They are all of them unto me as Sodom, and the inhabitants thereof as Gomorrah. He said, y'all are like Sodom and Gomorrah. In addition to that, we had a woman who was here among us. You are talking to a brother, going towards marriage, and your ass was a whole lesbian, and then try to gaslight the brother like he was the problem. Like what does Snoop Dogg say? Bitch, please. Play with me if you want to. I got receipts. And here it is, even still yet. Some of you, we're hoping that the Most High grants an open door of grace to repent and for you to get some mercy. Some of you, we know you ain't got a snowball's chance in hell. Verse 15. Therefore, thus saith Yahweh, the Lord of hosts, concerning the prophets, behold, I will feed them with wormwood, and make them drink the water of gall, For from the prophets of Jerusalem is profaneness gone forth into all the land. It wasn't from Esau. Esau did his damage. When we got the book and we understood who we are, where was the profaneness coming from? From the false prophets of Jerusalem. They were the ones that was bringing the profaneness to the people and misleading them, leading them astray. It wasn't Vocab Malone or none of these guys that taught you the false doctrine that you're pushing among the people. It's you. Thus saith Yahweh, the Lord of hosts, hearken not unto the words of the prophets that prophesy unto you. They make you vain. They speak a vision of their own heart, and not out of the mouth of Yahweh. They say still unto them that despise me, Yahweh hath said, ye shall have peace. And they say unto every one that walketh after the imagination of his own heart, no evil shall come upon you. Oh, brother, you did right. Be at peace with yourself. Live in your truth, sis. It was right for you to leave him. It was right for you to do your own thing and seek your own truth. You didn't like him anyway. Now you over there going all the way off with no one to redirect you. Verse 18. For who hath stood in the counsel of Yahweh, and hath perceived and heard his words? Who hath marked his word and heard it? Behold, a whirlwind of Yahweh is gone forth in fury, even a grievous whirlwind. It shall fall grievously upon the head of the wicked. The anger of Yahweh shall not return until he hath executed, until he hath performed the thoughts of his heart. In the latter days ye shall consider it perfectly. I have not sent these prophets, yet they ran. I have not spoken to them, yet they prophesied. But if they had stood in my counsel, and had caused my people to hear my words, then they should have turned them from their evil way, and from the evil of their doings. Am I a God at hand, saith Yahweh, and not a God afar off? Can any hide himself in secret places that I shall not see him, saith Yahweh? Doth not I fill heaven and earth, saith Yahweh? I have heard what the prophet said, that prophesy lies in my name, saying, I have dreamed, I have dreamed. You had this guy, Naquam, and the other guy talking about, one of them was Peter, the other one was Paul, or John the Revelator. Well, I had a dream, brother, that I was Peter. I had a dream, that I was Paul. I had a dream, that I was John the Revelator. These guys is lying to you. How many of you guys is Peter? How many of you guys is Paul? How many of you guys is John? From all these different groups, they made agreements that this brother was this guy and this one was the other. From multiple groups. Multiple guys is claiming they're Paul. Multiple guys claiming that they're Peter. Multiple guys claiming that they're John. What is going on? Somebody lying. All of y'all lying. How about that? How long shall this be in the heart of the prophets that prophesy lies? Yea, they are prophets of the deceit of their own heart. Yeah, you were deceit of your own heart. You were puffed up thinking that you're somebody when you are nobody. All because you go viral on a few videos and people cheer you and laud you and say what great words and swelling words come out of your mouth. Now you believe you're somebody. But you don't push the gospel of salvation. You don't push the way of repentance as it was stating in the scriptures. You do not show forth the works that the disciples did, such as baptism in the name of remission of sins. You don't believe in the end time prophecies the way it's actually happening. You have a different way of looking at things. Doing a whole live stream about how there is the market of beasts is not dealing with no currency system for buying and selling, but it's something else completely. A lot of people gonna have some explaining to do, and a lot of people is going to be confounded when stuff gets exposed and stuff goes down. which think to cause my people to forget my name by their dreams, which they tell every man to his neighbor, as their fathers have forgotten my name for Baal. You have people out there that switched over from the name of the Lord to Baal. We went from Yahawashi to Jesus, to the Most High, which is a title. Nate causing the people to forget the name of the Lord and switch it over to Baal, the same one, the same Jesus the Christ that our ancestors were worshiping on the plantation, the same Cesare Borgia image whose name was tied to that. You're making them going back to make a memorial of that name, because it's easier for you to get a bigger congregation, because you know that the overwhelming majority of people do not want to figure out why the name of the Lord is Yahweh and why his son's name is Yahawashi. You know it's easier for you to maintain and grow a bigger congregation if you can keep the name of the Most High as God and his son as Jesus Christ, because it's an easier transition, because our people are simple, and you try and keep it simple so that way they don't have to go that far. You could just tell them that they're royalty, have them throw on some clothes, some head wraps, some dresses, and have them come to your Sabbath meetings, and then sell them a merchandise pack. So that way you can make more money off of them. The prophets that had dream, let him tell a dream. And he that hath my word, let him speak my word faithfully. What is the chaff to the wheat, saith Yahweh? Is not my word like as a fire, saith Yahweh, and like a hammer that breaketh the rocks in pieces? Therefore, behold, I am against the prophets, saith Yahweh, that steal my words every one from his neighbor. Behold, I am against the prophets, saith Yahweh, that use their tongues and he saith. Behold, I am against them that prophesy false dreams, saith Yahweh, and do tell them, and cause my people to err by their lies, and by their lightness. Yet I sent them not, nor commanded them. Therefore they shall not profit this people at all, saith Yahweh. Those leaders that you have shall be of no profit for you, because their words that they're speaking to you is not giving you the light of life, but is giving you darkness. It's not showing you and instructing you unto the ways of salvation, but unto the ways of destruction. While they are getting more clout and more money, you are thinking that the Most High is dealing with them, because you still think like those of this world who view popularity through the lens of this world. What we're doing is we're preaching the message. We don't care about us being glorified or making money off this. We're not here to get rich off the Most High's word. This word is going to make us eternally rich if we imbibe in it. And when this people or the prophet or a priest shall ask thee, saying, and isn't it funny? You have some men that call themselves priests, some call themselves prophets, some even call themselves apostles. When they shall ask thee, saying, what is the burden of Yahweh? Thou shalt then say unto them, what burden? I will even forsake you, saith Yahweh. And as for the prophet and the priest and the people, thou shalt say, the burden of Yahweh, I will even punish that man and his house. See, when you are a false prophet, not only do you get punished, your whole house gets punished with you. Yes, your wife, your children, even them dogs, your mother-in-law, they all go down. See, didn't we read about that when those men came up against Moses? Dathan, Corey, and Abiram, and how their whole house, even their animals, went down with them into the ground. The Most High showed you that for a reason. Thus shall ye say, even one to his neighbor. Okay? So thus shall ye say, everyone to his neighbor, and everyone to his brother. What hath Yahweh answered, and what hath the Yahweh spoken? And the burden of Yahweh shall ye mention no more, for every man's word shall be his burden, for ye have perverted the words of the living God, of Yahweh, the host of our God. So the words that you spoke, they will be a burden unto you. Everything that you stood up for and preached in his name falsely, those shall be a burden unto you. Oh, his name is not Yahweh. We don't really know his name. We don't know his name. His name is not Yahweh. We don't really know his name. Oh, brother, you're currently in the new covenant. Well, why we have to teach, Ak? Yeah, that burden, you're going to hold on to that. Oh, that's not the mark of the beast. You're going to have to hold on to that. That burden is going to be on you because you perverted his scriptures. You perverted his word. Oh, brother, don't worry. Man, you could get with that sister. Yeah, the brother put her away, but man, that brother, man, he ain't even that right. He ain't right anyway. Go ahead and get with her, bro. All that stuff, you're going to have to hold that. It's going to be like a scarlet letter unto thee. Thus shalt thou say to the prophet, what hath Yahweh answered thee? And what hath Yahweh spoken? But since ye say, the burden of Yahweh, therefore, thus saith Yahweh, because ye say this word, the burden of Yahweh, and I have sent unto you, saying, ye shall not say the burden of Yahweh. Therefore, behold, I, even I, will utterly forget you, and I will forsake you, in the city that I gave you and your fathers, and cast you out of my presence. Remember, he said that he was going to, that those that went against him, that did not believe, their part shall be taken out of the city, and their part should be removed from the tree of life. They shall not be found written in the book of the living. They're going to be cast out into outer darkness from his presence. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth. They're going to be forsaken and left out of the New Jerusalem. Where are these guys? Oh, what's another one you said? Oh, all Israel's going to be saved in the kingdom. So even if you go off, all these wicked jakes, they're going to be right in the kingdom. They're going to be children. They're going to be born in the kingdom, Ark. Yeah, you got to hold on to that burden when you perverted those words. Because what did he say? Verse 40. I will bring an everlasting reproach unto you, and a perpetual shame which shall not be forgotten. Just like we read in Isaiah 66, those that loathe his law and transgress his law, their carcasses should be viewed every new moon and every Sabbath. And they shall be abhorring unto all flesh. Okay, Daniel 12. Everlasting shame and contempt. That's what the Bible said. Why didn't you warn the people? You told them they was going to get everlasting life regardless of what they do. Oh, Ak, it wasn't our fault. You know, Esau had us under captivity, Ak. And so the Lord got to give us all mercy because, you know, he knows that we was going to go off anyway, right? You know, he knew that we was going to go off and you know, it was only going to be a few of us who's going to wake up. But those of us that are of the elect, you know, they're going to bring those back as children, Ak. Liar, liar, pants on fire. So hopefully this is edifying to you, brothers and sisters. And again, I'm going to give all glory and praises to our Heavenly Father, Yahweh. We do so in the name of our Lord and Savior, Yahawashi. Grace and mercy be abound to the hopeful elect scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. Shalom.